Something weird is going on. One of the biggest question marks and uncertainties for the Texans heading into Sunday becomes even stranger or more clear when you follow the money. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked.
Welcome to the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. Also available right here on YouTube and Twitch. It is the number one source for Texans daily digital content. Whether you're a Texans fan or not, subscribe, like, ride along. Exclusive interviews with players straight off the practice field during each game week. Thanks to Henry To'o for joining the show yesterday. If you missed that, you can fire up the Odyssey app, go to the In the Loop section, and you'll hear him. He wanted all the smoke with the people from Texas. He said, Texas Mexican food has nothing on California Mexican food. He said In-N-Out over Whataburger. He wanted all the smoke. Shout out to Henry To'o, who should be starting on Sunday. Someone who's not going to be starting on Sunday, and there's something really interesting going on with this. Whether you're a Texans fan or whether you're just an NFL fan, a gambler, a fantasy player, you're going to want to make note of this. And we'll get to that in a sec, but let's touch on the big news that is kind of connected. Wide receiver Robert Woods, he's going to be out with a foot injury, second on the team in receptions, second on the team in yards, first in targets, and a very pivotal piece of for the young guys when it comes to learning the system, et cetera. So they're going to be without Robert Woods. They're also going to be without Sheldon Rankins. He has a hurt knee. Tight end Brevin Jordan has a hurt foot, and he's out Sunday as well. The full injury report should come out Sunday. So those are who we know for certain, guys that are going to be out. But let's focus on the most important one, and this is where things get kind of weird. Robert Woods. How do you replace Robert Woods? How do you replace that production? Does that production go to Noah Brown, who the advanced stats say will be the guy to replace the production? I saw Texans Cap at Texans Cap on Twitter. He's a fan of these types of things, the data, all that. The data points to Noah Brown replacing the production of Robert Woods. And I think that's a logical thought because when Tank Dell was out, Noah Brown returned, and Noah Brown made some big plays, and he kind of seemed to fill that void. And he's one of the more experienced receivers left on the roster when Woods goes out. He's a guy that Bobby Slowick seems to like. He kind of seems to fit in. CJ Stroud kind of seems to trust him at times. So Noah Brown would be the logical thought. However, this is where it gets interesting because another name that has come up has been John Mechie. But John Mechie this season, he only has 6 catches for 72 yards. So we haven't had like a clear visual of John Mechie being someone that fills this much of a void that's needed to replace a guy who, again, is first in targets, second in yards, second in receptions, like Robert Woods. So John Mechie, you think that you're going to see more from him? We've heard the coaches talk about maybe, the week 8 season. We heard Caserio say maybe that's where Mechie kind of breaks out. But when you see 6 catches, 72 yards, you got to wonder, okay, how much is John Mechie going to do? And that's what brings us to the weird stuff going on. One of my journalism professors always told me when it comes to investigating, when it comes to figuring out something, and it comes to trying to solve a crime, and he was a real big investigative reporter. His name was Pete Bruton. Shout out to Pete Bruton. He said you follow the money. And I think if you're a gambler, if you're someone who bets on football, a lot of times you see some things happening in Vegas and you say, man, something's not right. We've done it this year. There have been a couple times where it's just kind of felt like, something's not right. The Jacksonville game, the line was not jumping. As a matter of fact, it kept going down. And that led us before the Jacksonville game, if you go back and watch the videos, to say, okay, they know something about the Texans here, because the line is not going in the direction of Jacksonville. And the Texans ended up handing Jacksonville a huge loss. That was where the money was getting weird. But this is where it gets even weirder. 6 catches, 72 yards. I want to remind you of that when it comes to John Mechie. So I'm looking through the Texans betting odds and the props heading into this game. And do you know what John Mechie's betting odds are to score a touchdown in this game? Keep in mind, 6 catches, 72 yards, has never caught a touchdown, didn't even play his full rookie season. 3-1. 3-1 are the odds for John Mechie to catch a touchdown in this game. Now, what does Las Vegas know? Now, 3-1 might not mean much to you, but let me just put this in perspective. Like a solid wide receiver, like a wide receiver one, like a Nico Collins and a Tank Dell, it's going to be about 1.1 to 1. So you bet $100, you win 110. With Mechie, it's you bet 100 and you win 300. To put that in perspective, Dalton Schultz, who's been one of CJ Stroud's top targets, is 2-1. So he's slightly above John Mechie. With all this production, all this target share, all of this attention that he's been getting in the red zone, he's been scoring some big touchdowns. Dalton Schultz is 2-1, and John Mechie, who has 6 catches this year, is 3-1. What is Noah Brown? Noah Brown has caught more passes this season. We've seen a lot more of Noah Brown. Noah Brown to score a touchdown, he's 5-1. So his odds are way higher than John Mechie. Let's put this in even more perspective. Christian Kirk of the Jags, established receiver with Trevor Lawrence, he's 2.25 to 1 to catch a touchdown against the Steelers. That's an established receiver. John Mechie's just 3-1, just slightly over that. DJ Moore this week, 2.2 to 1. Michael Pittman Jr., 2.1 to 1. So we've asked the question and we wonder who is going to fill the void for Robert Woods. We haven't seen much from John Mechie. John Mechie's a name that has come up, and there's something weird going on with the money. Follow the money. I don't know whether this means that you bet it or not. Sometimes crazy stuff happens, but for whatever reason, John Mechie is 3-1 to get a touchdown. Join me after the game on Sunday for the post-game show, #1 post-game show on the web for the Texans. Daily videos throughout, news, etc. If you missed the discussion about the run game and what Bobby Slowick said, something that has me really, really interested, go back to my live video about my 5 thoughts, because that's something else to keep an eye on. But follow the money. John Mechie. Goodness gracious. Don't know whether to bet or just think something weird's going on. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. Who knows? But when it comes to this Texan stuff, always remember, when it comes to the locker room, we're all in it together. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle is what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.